Hi, my name is RJ and today I will be sharing a simple but powerful Chrome extension which we as web development students can use to make our work easier. I'll be covering the purpose of the extension, the benefits, how to install it, and how they work. Let's get started with the print friendly and PDF extension. Print friendly and PDF extension, you can find it on www.printfriendly.com. It is available in 21 different languages. Most current version is 2.7.10 and it was last updated on November 27th, 2019. I know that all of us at some point has had an assignment to submit that required a lot of research, and you wanted to print or select specific text from an article or book instead of the whole article to waste pages and ink. You didn't want the images in the text. You wanted to share the post with the interactive links, save it as a PDF document, print without the toolbars, sidebars, and navigation bars, or change the size of the font. Now there's an extension that can do this all for you. It's called Print Friendly and PDF extension. The purpose: this extension allows you to save paper and ink when you print. It also allows you to remove ads, navigation, and links. Print Friendly and PDF also enables you to edit the page prior to printing. Edits include deleting any content, example removing text, removing individual images or all images from the page or document you wish to print. Resizing text, allowing you to reduce or increase the size of the font to make it more visible or to save pages. Saving as PDF, to share with clickable links and source URL to make the document interactive. This option is different to your Microsoft Print to PDF or Adobe Save to PDF, since those alternatives do not have interactive links. Interactive links allow you to visit the source URL from the PDF instead of searching for the link again or entering it manually in your browser. Now I'm going to run through how to complete the installation of the extension and how it works. Open Google Chrome browser and then select apps from on the left side from the Google toolbar. Select Web Store. Search for Print Friendly and PDF in the search box. Select Add to Chrome to install extension. Add extension. Once installed, a dialog box confirming that the extension has been added will appear, and the Print Friendly icon will appear to the right of the URL bar. Visit any page you wish to print. For the purpose of this example, I am going to CNN. Select the name of the article to visit the page. So I already have CNN open. I'm going to click on the Print Friendly extension. Once the settings box opens, you can see all the options available to you. There's print documents, PDF, email. You can change the font text. You can reduce the size of the image, and you can undo. To edit the documents, you can delete images and text by selecting the text or image in question, and the images or text will be removed. And I'm going to undo by changing the percentages of the font in the text area. So I'm going to change it to 90%, and this text was just reduced. You can also increase it if you want to. The undo button allows you to revert to the original document or revert to the last step. Once you make the changes, there are a number of ways you can handle the document: email, save a PDF, or print. When you select email, a dialog box will open to allow you to enter the details to send the article or page to a specific recipient. If you want to save the document in its altered state, you can use the PDF option by selecting the PDF icon to save the document. This option allows you to save and download a page or a document. Lastly, you can print the document if you select the print icon. A dialog box opens to show you the print settings. And that's all there is to it. So get started and install this extension today, and now hand over to my colleague to continue our group presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so the first extension I'm going to show you is called Checkbot. Checkbot is a very helpful browser extension that can help you improve your website's SEO speed and security. It does this by testing hundreds of pages in your browser in just minutes, and you're able to run these tests as often as you want. Checkbot also allows you to test your site locally as you're developing. So just go to checkbot.io, and here you can read more about the extension if you want. But just click on the button here that will take you to download the extension. And then once you've done that, just navigate to any web page. I'm just going to go to Apple. And then just click on the Checkbot extension. And you will see the URL of the home page for the site you were just on. And then just click the arrow on the right side here to run the tester. So after the tester runs, you'll see the dashboard here that shows you the SEO speed and security of the web page, how it did. And then on the left-hand side, you can explore the 4 different categories for SEO speed, security, and even explore all of the URLs that were found in the tester. So if you expand on any of these different categories, it'll give you a whole bunch of suggestions to help improve your website. And if you are unsure of what any of these suggestions mean, you can just click on one of them and it'll give you a nice, well-detailed description of that suggestion. So the next extension I'm going to show you is called CSS Peeper. Now, CSS Peeper is a super handy and easy to use browser extension that allows you to view the CSS of specific items on any web page. CSS Peeper also shows you the color scheme of the site you are viewing, and in addition to that, it allows you to easily export assets from the web page as well. So just go to csspeeper.com, and here you can read more about the extension if you want. But for now, just click on the button here that will take you to download the extension. And then once you've done that, just once again navigate to any web page. I'm just going to go to Microsoft and then click on the CSS Peeper extension. And it will bring up a tab that shows the general overview of the different fonts that are being used on the web page, as well as the size and load time of the CSS file that is being loaded. On this tab, you can also view all of the colors being used on the page. So if you ever see a web page with a great color scheme you want to use, then this extension gives you the ability to view and easily copy any of the colors that are being used. The extension also shows you the assets that are on the page available for you to save for your own use. And then lastly, you may click on any item on the page, and CSS Peeper will show you the styling for the specific item that you clicked on.
I will introduce this extension. It's called Keyframes. Keyframes can give you a visual timeline to help you and create, view, and run animations without having to go back and forth between your browser and editor. And it also can generate the CSS code for you to use in your website. So when you add this extension, you can see the icon in here. So now let's see how to use keyframes.
Animate. Well, let's say for instance we wanted this section right here, the My Austin headline, the paragraph, and the button all to come in and kind of just fade in. Well, that's why I added that empty div right there, because that gives us access to this container right here. So if we click on it, we'll now see that we have this area on the right hand side where we have our CSS properties, but we also have this timeline down here. So it's very handy, as you can imagine. So the way this works is you click on the timeline to add a step. So by default, a step is added at 0%. And you start setting your different properties. So it's set up into transform, colors and fonts, size and spacing, border, and shadows. So to actually work with transform, we'll see by default, it looks like these already have values in them, but they're really just placeholder values. So there's no values by default. Now I found that there was kind of an issue when I'm creating these keyframes that it was putting XX in the rotate field. So I'm always going to put that to 0. Next, let's say, again, we want it to come in from the top and from a 0 opacity and fade in and down. So what we would do is we would translate Y, as that's on the Y axis up and down, and we would say something like maybe we can use percentage values, or we could use pixels, and we'll just say -10%. So now we can see it's already kind of came up there. Let's change this to 15%. So it'll update live on the fly. And if we go to colors and font, we have access to opacity. So we'll put a 0 opacity right there. So now, as somebody's calling me, if we go ahead, let's say to the very end at 100% and left click, we've now added a keyframe. So now we can adjust this. Let's bring back the opacity to 1. All right, now it's still at the top, so we have to change the translate Y position simply to 0. All right, so now we can see we have some other simple properties, animation duration, iterations, delay, and timing. These are just referring to CSS properties and their associated values. We obviously wouldn't want the iterations to be infinite, as in we don't want it to loop, so we can just change this to a different property, and forwards is a CSS value for the iterations so that it only happens once. 3 seconds is also probably going to be long, but if we hit start anyhow just to look at this, we could see it's now showing us live in the browser what this animation looks like. So let's just change this to maybe 1 second. You can also change the timing. Let's try ease, hit start. Oh, okay, much better. Now, it may not appear very smooth because of the frame rate of this video, but it does look pretty much ideal in terms of how I would want it. So now at this point, if you're happy with the animation that you have, you can click on Show Output CSS, and here is the code that you would add. So in our case, let's say we want to add the actual animation property, and this is the element that we want to animate, which happens to be that empty div. Or it's not empty, rather, but it's just a div without a class or a name. So what we would do, go back here, and again, the one we want to animate is this div right here. All right, so we could simply say container div and paste this, your animation. You can go ahead and change that to a custom name if you want. Go back to our CSS and then copy all of that, the actual keyframes, or just like that. Hit save, go back. Now, if we refresh, now it's permanently baked into our interface.